Hello, you beautiful bastards. Hello. Let me just say it 3 times. Hello. It's me, Ash, here on anerdlife, and we're playing a new game called Kinetic Void. You can get this game on Steam for $20. It's currently in alpha testing, which means it's really, let me just reiterate how really early this game is in its build. It even says old build 0.010B, meaning that the one they're working on right now is probably a ton, has a lot more in it than we get right now in Steam. You can buy it for 20 bucks to get into the alpha, and also obviously buy the game whenever it comes out. It'll be yours. Let's get right into it, and I'll talk to you about what the game is as we do so. Now, we're going to create a galaxy. Alpha Batari. Yeah, Alpha Batari. Okay, now we can pick the amount of sectors we want, which means how big the actual space we can explore is. Each sector is absolutely, completely nuts massive, so just 10 is huge. But having 500 is the max. That's crazy. So let's just go with 10, and then factions is 2. This is irrelevant considering NPCs don't really do anything except for either shoot at you or don't shoot at you. So factions 2 is fine. Let's hit start. I've already created an Alpha Batari, so oh well. Okay, so this is actually the ship I just built. This is called, lovingly, RoboCop, because that's the first thing that came to mind. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually load a few other ships so you guys can see. I've got one called a Beautiful Bastard that I built. It's a little ship. That one that you saw was a size 5 mostly. This is a size 2 mostly. So you can see just how massive that 5 actually was. This one's called Beautiful Bastard. It's a lovingly named Beautiful Bastard that I named after you guys, my fans, and I love you guys, and I love this ship. It looks freaking cool. This ship will absolutely fly. It'll fly, or pretty good fly. Load. Now I want to show you some of the ships that they actually have already in the game. Most of these I made, but like the Hauler, the J98, the Mule, and the Pacer are all ships that they made. So if you go to, for instance, the Hauler, this is like a cargo ship. It's pretty cool too. I like the look of it. They know what they're doing, obviously. Then if you load the Pace or the J98, it's a little fighter ship. They don't know what they're doing with colors combination because this is absolutely garish and hideous. But the ship itself looks awesome, and you can see that you can pretty much build whatever the hell kind of ship you want. And that's pretty much the only reason I wanted to show you guys all this stuff, because it sort of gives you an idea that this game has got an unlimited potential in terms of at least building ships. Once you build your ship, you can obviously go into space and do some spacey stuff. But in this build, you're not really able to do anything in space. Right now, in its current state, it's just a ship builder, basically. You can go into space and you can fight enemies, but there's no point to it. There's nothing behind the combat. There's no story or NPC communications or anything. It's just you flying around in space and either attacking people or not attacking people. But that's not to say that this game isn't worth it, and that's why I'm even playing it, because I do think the game is worth your time and your money. Basically, it's an alpha testing. You're paying to get into the alpha, and you're also paying for the game through Steam, meaning that you're directly supporting the development of the game as you play and buy it. And I always like to do that, you know. I think it has a lot of potential. So what we're doing now is we're looking through the cockpits here. They're called CNC, which means like it's more like a command center than a cockpit, but these are the small size. Now, if I go to size 2, I get different cockpit options. If I go to size 3, I've got even more different options. Oh, look at that thing. If I go to size 4, I've got even more options, and they're even bigger. If I go to size 5, you've already seen size 5, but I'll show you just how massive this thing is. This is the one I used. Oh, it's freaking huge. We're going to do 1 because it takes less time, and if you want to, you can spend literally hours just doing this. Which is a good sign, really. It just tells you how in-depth this part of the game is. Okay, so we're going to try to make a little fighter here. Let's try to make a little fighter. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I don't even think I've seen that one before. Except for on... We need to get rid of this colors. Jesus. Let's just reset it to white here. Sorry, I'm picky. We're gonna go through this extremely quickly because otherwise I've done this video about 10 times and every time it's about 40 minutes long. So we're gonna try to go through all this stuff very fast. That's why we're doing a size 1 instead of a size 5. Because basically the bigger you get, the more you have to work with it to make it work or function the way you want it to. Let's make the window colors blue. Okay. Okay, we got our blank canvas now. As you can see, once we clicked on this, the white blocks disappeared, and this is what we have to work with. These red spots are all connection points, meaning that we can connect other pieces to that part. So let's go to hulls here. These are general building blocks of ships. So let's see how big these things are actually. Now I can hit R, and as I connect to it, it will cycle through each of the connection points on the item I have selected. And then once I have it where the side that I want it, I can hit Q and E to rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. So if I want it up and down, I can do that. If I want it this way, I can do that. I can do all sorts of stuff. The sky is the limit. It's literally the limit because we're going to be in it, and we're taking it to the limit. So these don't look good. Let's be honest. These don't look good. A lot of the problems I've run into, however, is that there's only like 2 hull pieces that are actually small. This one and this one, which are okay. This one's like a circular thing, so it gives you a little bit of an option. This is more of a square, so it gives you a little bit of an option. I think what we want to do is this. So we'll give it that little thing. That looks pretty good, actually. And then I'm just gonna go straight to the engine here, just because I want to map out where we're gonna put this engine. Oh no, I forgot that this for some reason this block will not connect on the side that you want it to connect. This flat side will be the perfect place for a frickin' connection, but it's the only side of the cube that doesn't have one. So if we want to put an engine on, oh, you know what? We could just do it this way still. We can put the engines on the side. That's a good idea. So let's see how big these things are. That's huge. That's pretty huge. If we can... That's not bad. I like that, actually. I like it a lot. If it's yellow like that, just rotate it until it lights up. Usually that's the solution. All right, we got our engines. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty damn good. Now, do we want wings for sure? I know wings don't really matter in reality, but you go to whole pieces. You have a few things that can work as wings. These pieces work pretty well as wings. Let's see if we can make it look pretty good here. That might actually be too gigantic, to be honest. That actually doesn't look too bad. I wish we had more connection pieces up towards the front of the ship, but we just don't at this point. What about if we go with this and put it like that? Yeah, that's where it's at right there, guys. That is where it's at. Now you can figure out... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit C to clear the selection I currently have. I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to select this one. Because it's got a flat back. And then I put the other side. There we go. Perfectly symmetrical. Yeah. Alright. We've got it going on here now. We could technically add a bunch of other stuff if we really wanted to. But I don't think we do. Let's see how it pans out. First thing we need to do is we need to start assigning subsystems to all of our pieces. And this is with the key. We can control how our ship functions, what its strong suits are, what its weak points are. Because it's so small, we don't want to have a crew. We just want to fly it around and shoot things. And we'll get to the weapons in a minute. I like to do weapons very last. I like to do subsystems first before I do weapons. I don't know why. No point. You can do it however you want. If I right-click on this little piece of the hull, we can click on the subsystems button, and it gives us all these options for systems that we can put on this. We have 4 module slots, and each one is going to take up a different amount of those slots. Usually that's very dependent on the size, which is the little number in the bottom right corner of each tile. So this one is a size of 3, so it's going to take up like the entire thing. If we go with the ballistics plating of 1, it only takes up 1 additional. But we don't want any of that. Armor is not implemented into the current version, so if you buy it now, I mean, tomorrow it may update and it'll be in it. But as of now, armor doesn't do anything. You don't take any damage in this build, so you don't have to worry about that. What we want is a reactor, because that reactor will give us a power. If you read over here, all of your stats are here. You got zeros across the board so far. You can hit secondary, and it'll take you to sensors, targets, all sorts of stuff, most of which isn't implemented yet. What we want to do is we want to get our power, our total power up. And while doing that, we're going to produce power through our reactor, so let's get that. Now, we can also do some other stuff, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a sensor booster of the highest range possible. Boom. Got that. Okay. Okay, now, when we unselect it, it will now upgrade, so we have a total power of 100, and because we have a sensor booster that uses 10 power, we now have 10 used. We need 10 power, we're producing 100, so we're good to go so far. Now we're going to go to our cockpit, and we're going to go to subsystems, and we're going to go for a sensor because we need a sensor. Let's just be honest, we need a sensor. And then we're going to go for a sensor booster, another sensor booster, and we want the biggest range, I personally think. We can't do speed. I don't really know what speed does on a sensor. I think it's how fast it recognizes it, maybe, or something. I don't really know. But we're going to go with distance, because, or range, because at least that's pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. Then we actually have some more, so we can actually do speed as well. Cool. So now we have that, and now we're up to 35 power needed. Not bad. Alright, now let's go to the engines. Subsystem. Now we need to add an engine, obviously. The first thing we want to do is we can add an engine, and you can see the statistics on the pop-up. You got your thrust, different thrusts. You got forward thrust, rear thrust, side thrust, pitch and yaw thrust, roll thrust, and basically it just tells you how fast it can do each maneuver. If you want to go forward really fast, you're obviously going to want to do the fast. If you want to be able to go backwards a lot faster than rear, etc. Forward, I think it's the most statistically viable at this point in the game. You want to be able to travel faster, chase down people faster. So we're going to go with the engine 3 with the forward thrust of 65. And then we're going to use our last spot on an engine booster, will basically upgrades those stats even more. With the 40, I think this one's probably the best one, engine booster 1. It gives you a forward of 40 and a rear of 45. So let's get that. Now if we hit this and we hit C to unselect it, we now have a forward of 105 and then all these other statistics. And we can do the exact same thing to the other engine. Add an engine, and then what we do with engine booster 1, we close this and we unselect it, and it upgrades it even further, doubling it basically. So if we look over our statistics now, we have a power needed of 75 with a power total of 100 being met by more than enough power here. Now if we wanted to, we could go to this subsystem here and we can add a crew. We can go to crew quarters, add some crew there. We don't want to do that though, to be honest, do we? We don't want to do that. We can if you want. If you guys really want, we can do it. We can add a crew quarters, which will add to this. We can add recreation, which will add to this. We can add a mess hall, which will add to the nutrition, and we can add a medical bay, which will add to that. Let's see, mess hall 1. Might as well do it. Then we can go to click on this side, and we can go to medical bay. We want medical bay with the 1 size if possible. Too much. That's not too bad. We need recreation though, so that's too much actually. This one should be okay, maybe? There it is, recreation. Okay. So we've got 10 across the board here. For whatever reason, I think I accidentally selected crew quarters instead of medical bay. There we go. That's better. Now we've got 10 across the board, so if we had crew, we could support them. We can support up to 10 of them. It's kind of pointless on a fighter, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway, just to show you guys how to do it. Once you have it done, you can go through the colors. I think we want to go with blue, because blue is the best color. That's pretty good. We go with the darker color version of it if we want. Looks good. What if we go with no, I like this color blue here. Actually, I think that's perfect. Now, you can go through here if we wanted to and test it out. See, that changes those parts of the ship. You can just go through and randomly select which, and figure out which parts of the ship it changes the colors on. You can also go down here and select shiny or dull, and it will sort of give it a sort of effect. But tint is the one you want if you wanted to actually pick up the color you just selected. Might add a darker gray to this just to give it a little bit of variation. That works. Works for me, guys. Now we can get rid of everything and go to launch. Or we need to name it, don't we? What are we gonna name this thing? I don't even know. Oh man, smelly death. Smelly death. Okay, whatever. Smelly death, the best ship in the universe. Let's be completely honest. This is the best ship in the entire universe. Smelly death, and everybody will know and fear the name Smelly Death whenever they are flying out in space. They'll be like, "Oh, is that Smelly Death? Oh shit, we're fucked," and then they'll be dead. That's literally how fast it'll happen. Okay, so as you can see, we already have a possible encounter here, and it looks like he's coming towards us because we're not moving. So we have him selected. Now, if we hit C, we can immediately lock onto this bastard. Now we have another guy here. We got several bogeys. This one's coming towards us though, and we want to take him out. So if I hit WASD, I can control my ship, obviously, like so. If I want to tilt it, I can hit E or Q, and it'll tilt it. But more importantly, I want to go forward, so I can hit R, and my boosters will come on and start going. I can hit R again, it'll come a little faster, but if I want to go super fast, the fastest it will go immediately, I can hold shift and hit R, and it will immediately go as fast as humanly possible, which isn't super fast, but it's pretty fast. It's going almost 2 kilometers a second. Now, if I want to stop, I can hit shift and F, and it'll turn them off completely. If I want to just slow down a little bit, I can gradually hit F by itself, and it will eventually stop. You know, we completely forgot to put guns on this damn thing. Let's go back to the shipyard here and add guns. Weapons. Now, what you want to pay attention to is whether this is a fixed gun, like this. Put that on the bottom, actually. Actually, we're going to put a turret on the bottom, because turrets can turn and target from various angles, which is really awesome in space. But we are a fighter, so we definitely want fixed guns, because we're going to be chasing these bastards down and taking them out. Okay, so we've got a turret on the bottom. I think we're going to add one more dual gun or something awesome to the top. Where's the best turret? There's a certain turret that I really enjoy looking at. This one right here. Oh yeah! Now we can launch again with our, let's see, weaponized butt. Okay. Weaponized butt. That's what this one's called. Launching weaponized butt into space. Unfortunately, I think every time you launch, you sort of go in a random place. Okay, so we're going to hit Shift and R and go forward immediately. Eventually, someone will show up, and we can fight them. Now, I will go over... Okay, we're already seeing a... Holy... That's my ship! Oh, that's so cool, dude! That's the ship I built last time. It just populates it with other ships. Now, this thing is going to absolutely fuck me up, because I put a ton of guns on that thing. Oh man, that's so cool, dude. Oh, there's a serpent. All these ships are ships that I built. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that's so cool. I'm absolutely giddy at this moment. That's so awesome. Okay, so we can hit C to lock onto this guy. That's the first step. Then we can hit 1 to start firing our weapons at him. And as you can see, he's got a percentage of health here, and he's got the distance he's away. We're absolutely just laying into this guy. Now, he's about to run away because he's a little bitch. I didn't really do much in terms of arming this ship, the Serpent. I like his spiked back though. That's the whole thing. That's his whole thing. It's his gimmick. He's got a spiked back. Okay, we've taken him down to 88% health. I think this actually needs a little bit more firepower. We're doing okay, but it's more like a mosquito than a weaponized butt. We probably should have named it mosquito. Okay. Okay, we need to slow down, otherwise we're going to pass this guy. Okay, so what we can do is we can hit G, and we have all of our weapons in our weapon manager. Now we can say, okay, we got the dual turret, we got it attached to group 1, that's good. We can take our dual turret, or this one, and add a second group to it. Now every time I hit, and I can take one off, and so I control each one individually, and I can have different groups. So if I hit 2, it will turn off and on this gun, and if I hit 1, it'll turn off and on the other gun. So if I had a huge ship with a ton of guns on one side and a ton of guns on the other side, I could make one group the one side of the ship, one group the other side of the ship, another group the back of the ship, another group the front of the ship, or I can have all the turrets attached to one and all the fixed gun attached to another, etc. I can just do whatever I want, basically. As you can see, it's slowly going to kill him, but he's probably going to run away. They almost always run away. And whenever they don't run away, I think someone's either attacking me or I'm running into my own explosions. Oh, see, he ran off. He went into hyperspace or whatever. Alright, so basically that's a Kinetic Void, everyone. I'm actually even more in love with the game now that I know that it populates the universe with my ships, which is completely cool. Completely freaking cool. See, that's over there, that's RoboCop. I'm sure this is something that I built as well. Let's see what the ship is. Let's just attack it. That should get its attention. I think it's shooting back at me. Oh well. Alright, well, sorry about the silence there. I was just really intent on trying to see what ship that is. Alright, so that's Kinetic Void. That's pretty much everything you can do for the time being in the game. You can build your ship, you can go and shoot other ships, and then that's pretty much it. But I really think that this game has a lot of potential, and if you guys agree, then definitely go to Steam, pay the $20 to get into the alpha and the beta, and eventually buy the game, and help the developers build the game that they want to build. So until next time, this has been Ash here on NerdLife. Weaponized butt is flying me into space here. And we're gonna leave on that note, the best note, the most beautiful note. It's sort of like a rainbow. It's like a metaphorical rainbow. It's like a rainbow is somehow the same thing as me flying into space in a ship called Weaponized Butt. So until next time, this has been Ash on NerdLife. Play on, players.